Halo is filling in the backstory for Master Chief, seemingly connecting him to the Covenant more than anyone expected. Meanwhile, a fan-favorite character makes her entrance in a way that may prove controversial. Spoilers ahead for Halo Season 1, Episode 2. In Halo's first episode, audiences were introduced to a legendary Spartan super soldier known as Master Chief, and Kwan, a 16-year-old orphan who suddenly finds herself the target of a sizable intergalactic bounty. Last we saw them, the newly acquainted traveling companions were forced to fly away from the United Nations Space Command headquarters without a clue of a plan for where to go next.
Strap in.
Episode 2 introduces an important character from Master Chief's past and gives us new insight on the mysterious Covenant relic that appears so uniquely tied to Master Chief. It also teases the introduction of a fan-favorite character whose portrayal could prove somewhat divisive among fans of the Halo video game series. Let's dive into Episode 2 of Halo and the biggest takeaways from the second hour of the series. As Master Chief and Kwan seek refuge from the reach of UNSC, the two visit the Rubble, a civilization built within the confines of a series of hollowed-out asteroids. Here the duo are welcomed by the Society's leader, Soren, a former UNSC training buddy of Master Chief's and a man who also happens to offer unique insight into the mysterious Covenant relic. After providing Master Chief and Kwan with food and shelter, Soren introduces the two to Reth, one of a handful of people who has experience living in the Covenant. As one might expect, even in the 25th century, being kidnapped by aliens leaves Reth with a visibly loose grip on the world. However, he is quick to recognize the importance of the object. Because his touch does not activate the device as Master Chief's does, Reth refers to Master Chief as a blessed one.
What's a blessed one? Human, only more so.
After confirming that Master Chief does not have any plans to destroy the human race, Reth forces the device into Master Chief's hands once more. Just as it did in Episode 1, the device suddenly emits an expanding ring of light and triggers a flurry of childhood memories within the Spartan. Reth later explains that the device is a Covenant weapon, a realization that Master Chief admits he recognized but never voiced. Perhaps most interestingly, Reth insists that Master Chief must destroy the artifact and himself in order to protect life as we know it. The entire exchange proves quite revelatory for Master Chief, leading him to quickly return to UNSC headquarters on Reach. Meanwhile, Kwan catches up with the situation back on Matrical. To Kwan's shock and horror, the planet's power vacuum has allowed a rebel trader named Vinsher Grath to take over her home planet. As Soren puts it, Vinsher is cleaning house on Madrigal. From the comfort of the Rubble, Kwan watches drone footage of Vinsher executing a variety of political dissidents, leaving her in tears. Kwan explains that Vinsher and her father often quarreled over how to respond to the threat posed by the UNSC. Although she insists she only wants justice for her father and the rest of her people, it quickly becomes clear that developments on her home planet are going to be a major issue for her. Even after Master Chief departs the Rubble for the UNSC, Kwan is shown watching footage of Vinsher's rise to power with a searing hatred for her father's former enemy. Interestingly, Vinsher's speech references a historic deal made with the UNSC in an attempt to return Madrigal to its place as the gem of the Outer Colonies, which suggests yet another potential complication for her grudging alliance with Master Chief. Elsewhere, upon his return to Reach, Master Chief expresses a wish to discuss his memories, but Dr. Catherine Halsey isn't having it, saying it's not a constructive place to go. Notably, Halsey and her colleagues have previously indicated fear of Master Chief regaining his childhood memories. Much of Master Chief's discussion with Halsey also focuses on the question of the Spartan's own identity. As Master Chief explains the feelings he has recently developed, we see the Covenant-loyal Blessed One, Maquis, disrobe and reveal an interesting set of scars on her back. Of course, while we don't completely understand the reason for this combination of scenes, it certainly seems obvious that a connection between the two Blessed Ones is being suggested. After Master Chief explains his motivation for returning to the UNSC so quickly, Halsey thanks him for coming back, saying, "I see this as a new beginning. We're going to do great things together." As Halsey says these words, the series again cuts to a different scene in which Halsey is shown awakening a clone of herself. It's heavily suggested that this clone is related to an advanced artificial intelligence of her design called Cortana.
Cortana is the next stage in human evolution.
Of course, Halo video game fans will recognize Cortana as the name of the legendary artificial intelligence who guides Master Chief on his missions. While Cortana may be introduced as an actual physical person in the TV series, it seems clear that she won't remain that way for long. Also, given the fact that the clone was activated prior to Master Chief's interrogation, can we be sure that Master Chief is actually talking to the real Halsey in this final scene? The truth is not quite clear. Even by its second episode, Halo is full of mysteries, even for people who played all the games. New episodes of Halo drop on Paramount Plus every Thursday. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Looper videos about your favorite movies and TV shows are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.